Bill Clinton swept into the White House in 1992, promising a new covenant with the American people. He was young, charismatic. He even played the saxophone on late night TV. But behind the charm was a laundry list of promises. Some he kept, some he bent, some went down in flames. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Like presidents before him, Clinton, when running for president, promised a lot of things. And a lot of things he promised, presidents before him promised, and presidents before that and before that. Since the beginning of presidents, they have all promised very similar things. They've all tried different things to make it work, and they've all seemed to fail miserably. The first one, of course, is the economy. Clinton always used to say, it's the economy, stupid, when he was running for president. He would say, guys, it's just simple. America needs to fix the economy, okay? Clinton's top promise was to fix the economy. And to be fair, he did oversee the longest peacetime boom in American history. Now, peacetime is a little different because we were not in a major war. We were sending troops around the world to help in battles, but we weren't in a major war. We had balanced budgets, falling unemployment, and even a surplus in the late 1990s. Promise delivered, but not without controversy. We had the economic boom because of the dot-coms. Dot-coms were internet companies that were just starting up. Now, if you remember, or if you don't, if you were born before, if you were born after 2000, the internet was new, and dot-coms were what we think of today, businesses that were online. And a lot of people invested a lot of money into those dot-coms, and at the end of the 90s, they all crashed, and all this money people invested went away. They just disappeared. He also signed something called NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, which was supposed to open up trade between Mexico, Canada, and the United States. But instead, it really turned a lot of companies into going to Mexico to do a lot of their manufacturing. Car manufacturing was the big one. They moved from Detroit to Mexico and they saved a lot of money, yet they were still charging the same amount for cars, so they were making more money. The next thing he promised was middle-class tax relief. Everyone tries to give the middle class tax relief, or at least that's what they say they're going to do. But Clinton promised it. Instead, his very first budget, he raised taxes on higher earners and energy. Some middle class families felt the squeeze, and Republicans never let him forget it. Now you think to yourself, why is raising taxes on the middle class or energy a big deal to middle class, right? It's because the middle class pays for the energy. We pay our electric bills, our oil, our gas. We have to buy these things. And if you raise the taxes on these guys, it goes to us. Higher earners, if you raise the taxes on business owners, they don't hire as much and they cut back to save money. He did promise to cut the deficit in half. Clinton vowed to slash the federal budget deficit in half. And after some political battles, he did it with the help of spending cuts, tax hikes, and the economy in overdrive. By 1998, the U.S. government actually had a surplus. Imagine that today, that we're $4 trillion plus in debt. He did that by cutting jobs and cutting back. Now, so he kind of did it. He originally said he was going to do it without cutting jobs or raising taxes. He did both. So he did succeed, but he did it by doing what he said he wasn't going to do. The big thing Clinton also was known for, other than, his extramarital issues, was he vowed for universal health care. He put his wife in charge, Hillary Clinton, and this was the crown jewel. This is what he ran on. This is what everyone wanted. Hillary Clinton spearheaded the plan, but Congress torched it before it even got to a vote. A total failure and a huge political loss early in his presidency. He ran on this for 8 years, both terms, and he failed completely. He also said he'd end welfare as we knew it. He kept this one kind of. Signing the 1996 Welfare Reform Act, benefits were cut, hence we saved money, work requirements were imposed, and millions left the rolls. Supporters called it responsibilities, critics called it cruelty. Now today, were doing the same thing, and the people who were on Clinton's side in the 90s are now against Trump for doing the same thing, which doesn't make sense. But a lot of people say that the Democrats in the 90s are Republicans today, and that's kind of where that goes. But again, he promised he would change welfare, but when he did it, he didn't think it would go as negatively as it did. The negative part was a lot of people who have been on welfare for a long time didn't want to have to work, didn't want to have to do certain things, and by doing it, they lost faith in what he was saying. They thought when he said they were going to fix welfare, it wasn't take welfare away, it was to give them more. So his wording was, I'm going to fix welfare. I'm going to fix it, end it the way it is now, and change it completely. And he didn't clarify until after he got into office. Clinton expanded Head Start with his education investment. Clinton expanded Head Start, pushed for national testing standards, and created Hope scholarships for college students. But he had promised universal free college. He had promised education was not going to be a burden on the American people. He didn't quite do that. What he did instead was he made it easier to get into college, but not to pay for it. He made it more widely accessible. He made Head Start free for a lot of people, which I guess is a good thing. He pushed for national testing, national standards, which again, I think actually hurt more people than helped, but he thought it was going to help. But when he originally had set it up, he said, we're going to make college free for everybody, make it less crazy, make it easier. If you've ever tried to apply for college today, you know that did not happen. And you're going to yourself right now, these seem like he fulfilled his promises. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to what we're talking about. Free trade NAFTA, I talked about this a little bit. He pushed hard for the North American Free Trade Agreement. He had Al Gore go against Ross Perot, and he had them debate on Larry King on CNN about the benefits of NAFTA. Big businesses loved it. Unions hated it. And the debate over whether the NAFTA helped or hurt Americans kind of rages on today, but not really. We kind of see now that it really hurt us more than helped us. It helped big businesses like Ford, GM. It helped Dodge. It helped a lot of these other corporations who made their products in Mexico and then just shipped them here and kept them tariff-free so they didn't have to pay extra taxes on it. Clinton passed something with the help of Joe Biden that is very controversial today. He was big on crime reduction. Okay, he said, I'm going to get back to tough crime and all that jazz. Again, every president seems to say that, right? Clinton promised more cops, tougher sentences, and safer streets. But here's the thing, the 1994 crime bill delivered all of that. 100,000 new police officers, the 3 strikes laws, and more prisons. Crime fell, but so did the faith in our justice system for many communities of color. The crime bill, with the help of Joe Biden, good, bad, or ugly, you can say what it is, it really pushed to do more stop and frisk, do more stops in the inner city. It really made the poorer communities have a big bullseye on themselves, because Clinton looked at the numbers and saw, okay, most crime happens in the inner city, so we should put more police there. Instead of figuring out why these people were committing crimes, why these things were happening, he just put more cops there and said, arrest them. And the 3 strikes law is a very touchy law. So basically, if you get caught doing a certain crime 3 times, you have no parole. You're in prison forever. And a lot of these were drug charges that today are being forgiven because those drugs are no longer illegal, or violations that were deemed completely wrong within 5-6 years. These poor guys, mostly guys, were put in prison for things that today they wouldn't even be given a ticket for. And it was very heavily against the African American community, which again, isn't great. He promised bold moves on the environment, okay? He had this big environmental action plan, but most of his efforts got bogged down in politics. He did protect some land and push clean air measures, but big reforms fell flat. He wanted to put taxes on everything from gas to oil to electricity, but people in Congress knew that if they did that, the people who voted for them would vote them out of office. Why would we tax something that most people have to pay for and don't have enough money to pay for? Today, it's the same thing. When the electric company raises our rates every year, people get up in arms. They have to ask permission, but they seem to always get permission by people we've never heard of. And when it comes election time, it gets kind of pushed down so we don't remember it. But it's something to remember that these people have to get permission from our representatives to raise the rates. And when they do, that means the person we voted for them to cost us more money and to make them richer. But the big thing he also promised, the last one, was government reform. Clinton said he'd cut waste and reinvent government. He did trim the federal employment and balance budgets, okay? Kind of what Trump is trying to do now. But Washington didn't exactly become more accountable. Unless you count, scandals. So Bill Clinton delivered on his promises on the economy and welfare. Yeah. On healthcare reform? No. And by the time he left office, Americans were split. Was he the guy who gave us prosperity or the guy who gave us a scandal every week? Maybe the answer is both. And my big question is, do you think Clinton's presidency was more defined by his economic success or his personal scandals? And that's really where we're going from here, okay? The scandals Clinton had were many. He really thought that, having extramarital affairs was not a big deal. Monica Lewinsky was a big one, but there was others. And he kind of just threw it to the side. He got impeached for that, but he didn't get kicked out of office because, again, probably a lot of senators didn't want, and House members didn't want their dirty laundry coming out. The NAFTA deal really made it bad because it looked like he was in the pockets of big business. The crime bill made him look like he was more of a racist than he wanted to be. But his biggest issues were not just his womanizing, not just his business shading deals, but what him and his wife were involved in other areas of the world. So other than Lewinsky, who he said he didn't have sexual relations with, that woman, he did. He lied under oath because of it, which of course is perjury and obstruction of justice. He was impeached, stayed in office, but reputation, it was scarred. He also had something called Whitewater. It was a failed real estate investment Clinton and Bill and Hillary made in the 80s. There was fraud, there was corruption, but they were never charged. It was dragged out. The investigation was dragged out. And here's where a lot of conspiracy theories happen. A lot of people involved that could have implemented them died by suicide or by other means that were just questionable at best. Weird traffic accidents. They killed themselves. It was just weird. Travelgate, the Clinton's White House fired longtime travel office staff and replaced them with Clinton allies. Critics claimed, Clintons wanted their people in there. And a lot of people screamed cronyism or nepotism, abuse of power, which we do today still. I mean, Trump has had his children in office running things and his friends. It's just what we do. Like it or not, we usually don't hire people we don't like if we're in that kind of power. It looks shady, but no one ever did anything about it. Filegate, White House staff improperly accessed FBI background reports on hundreds of Republicans. Magically, the Democrats were given files on the Republican cohorts without permission from the FBI. Don't know how that happened, but it was considered bureaucratic bungling, and they kind of just pushed it under, and no one cared later on. Paula Jones, another state employee of Arkansas who accused Clinton of sexual harassment when he was governor. The lawsuit eventually led to exposure of Lewinsky. So Paula Jones led to Lewinsky. Clinton settled out of court for almost $1 million without admitting guilt. So again, why are you settling for almost $1 million if you did nothing wrong at all? We won't go there right now. Jennifer Flowers allegations. During the 92 campaign, singer Jennifer Flowers claimed a 12-year affair with Bill Clinton. Initially denied, but Clinton later admitted to a relationship. Damaged his family man image. But again, he waited till he became president to admit it. So he was pushing against her, said, you're horrible, you're not right. Pardongate, another big one. This is another one that Joe Biden's done, Trump's done, everyone's done since. On his last day of office, Clinton issued 140 pardons, including one for fugitive financier Mark Rich. Mark Rich has gotten pardons from multiple presidents, so we won't go there right now. The pardons looked like political favors, some tied to donations. You give money to the president, you get free. Again, it's happened since, it's happened before. Became a final embarrassment on his way out the door. The last big one was the Lincoln bedroom scandal. Allegations that Clinton let wealthy donors stay overnight in the White House Lincoln bedroom in exchange for campaign contributions. It's not illegal, but it kind of looks like, you give money, you get what you want. So Clinton's legacy is a cocktail of sex, scandals, financial controversies, and shady political favors. And that's, I think, when we connect all these, he was able to get things done by knowing the right people, paying the right people, and the people who had things against him, those people magically disappeared. Now, am I saying he did it? No. Am I saying his people did it? No. It just is a weird coincidence that people who could make Clinton look bad disappeared or died miraculously or killed themselves all of a sudden. And that's the world we live in. And again, this was in 92 to 2000. So we're talking 25 to 30 years ago. And we talk about it today. We talk about, welfare reform, and Trump is horrible because he's, making people on welfare work or look for work or volunteer. Clinton did the same thing. We're yelling at Trump because he's cutting people who are working in the government. Clinton did the same thing. We talk about crime reduction and how Trump is sending people into the inner cities to battle crime. Clinton did the same thing. These things are all the same things that we complain about Trump. Clinton did it first. So is Trump a dictator, narcissist, neo-Nazi, fascist, or is he a Democrat in the 90s? Because they seem kind of similar. Because Trump has always said it's the economy stupid. He's always said we need to help the middle class. He's always said we spend too much money in and healthcare is too expensive, and welfare needs to change, and the education system is broken, and we need better trading, and we need less crime, and the government needs to be fixed. And that's 9 out of 10 things that Clinton promised to do. Clinton didn't succeed very well because, he was fighting against the system, and it seems like Trump is having the same issue right now. So did Bill Clinton fix America? Kind of, except for all the parts he broke, okay? He fixed America except for the parts that he made worse. And that's today's message, is just because a candidate or a person, an influencer, a political pundit, somebody tells you they know what to do, they know how to fix something. Look throughout history and look how many times the same things have been talked about. Talking points over and over again. The economy, welfare, schooling, healthcare, wars, immigration. This has all been talked about for decades, hundreds of years. And it's not changing tomorrow. It's the same thing. We have to learn how to get along and fix the system as a whole. Was Bill Clinton perfect? Nope. and no one has been since or before. So we just have to either find the perfect person, which we won't do, or realize that everybody, when they get into that office, they're trying to do the best they can with what they have. And sometimes the best they can do doesn't help us, it helps somebody else. And we can either appreciate that and be okay with that, or find someone new to elect.